So just be on that first problem, but this one is in the collectors, and the right and ramp lanes are blocked. Emergency crews are on scene here as well. The eastbound 401 ramps to north and southbound Leslie are blocked because of that crash. And if you're looking for alternates, you can try using Shepherd. It looks amazing. York Mills is also a good one for you. Eastbound 401 east of Brock Street in the Whitby area, the left lane remains blocked for ongoing road repairs. Hopefully it should reopen this week. Right now it's not causing any backup for you. The rest of the major routes around the GTA all in good shape. At Kennedy and 16th Avenue, you find the traffic lights flashing red in all directions. At last check, we had police on point duty. At Don Valley North Lexus, lease the redesigned 2020 Lexus RX 350 from just $248 bi-weekly for 40 months. Visit Don Valley North Lexus.com for details. Your next report is at 7:41. And now with the forecast, here is Carl Lamb.
Down to -1 tonight, wind chill -6 with a cloudy sky. Tomorrow before sun, we'll have a shot of snow and then some more snow late morning into the afternoon. Accumulation of about 1 to 3 centimeters, and we'll have a westerly wind of 25 to 40 kilometers per hour and high at +1. For Tuesday night, if you're headed down to Nathan Phillips Square, evening temperature around -1, but a wind chill of -8 since it will be breezy, and we'll have some snow showers, mainly north after about 8 o'clock. Tonight's overnight low, -1.
Partly cloudy skies right now in downtown Toronto. It's 5 degrees at Pearson Airport. A little bit cooler, partly cloudy, 3 degrees. It feels like -1. 680 News Time, 7:33.
The end of 2019 will bring the end of a decade that saw activism take center stage. It brought us everything from Black Lives Matter to the Me Too movement.
At 680's tells us it was also a decade that saw the death of the leader of Al-Qaeda.
Osama bin Laden was killed in Pakistan on May 2nd, 2011 in a raid watched live by then-President Barack Obama.
Tonight, I can report to the American people and to the world that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda.
Activism was big this past decade. There was the Me Too movement. Survivors of sexual abuse shared their stories with the hashtag #MeToo. Tarana Burke founded the movement.
I'm faced with my own hard truth. I'm numb.
The big stories of the past decade: NASA's first all-female spacewalk, real estate developer and former reality TV star Donald Trump's victory in the 2016 presidential election, and earlier this month, he became only the 3rd president in U.S. history to be impeached. I'm Phil Martino. 680 News Time, 7:34. Hope you had a chance to enjoy today's balmy weather. We hit a record high, but the temperature will not be sticking around. 680's Brittany Dooley is on the Weather Watch.
Almost 10 degrees, and no, we aren't talking negatives. That's a record-hitting high for December, especially as we're in the midst of winter. Our meteorologist Carl Lamb explains why it's so abnormally warm today.
We had a warm front move through, and that was bringing the warmer air from the States, and then it filtered in and settled around the GTA. So this was the leading edge of that warmer air, and now behind it is a cold front.
A regular December 30th should be around a high of -1 and a low of -8. But don't get too excited. Tomorrow, we're back to seasonal averages just in time for New Year's Eve. That cold front that Carl mentioned means snow showers and flurries to come. I'm Brittany Dooley.
680 News Time, 7:35. Peel Police have made another arrest in the murder investigation of a 26-year-old man that was killed outside of a condo in Mississauga. Just before midnight in October, officers were called to a shooting outside of a building on Webb Drive. They found Stouffville man Mario Ibrahim with serious injuries, who then died shortly after. Investigators say this was the second attempt on Ibrahim's life. The first time he was shot at on the 401. Thankfully, nobody was hurt in that incident. A man and a woman have already been arrested and charged.
Thankfully, nobody was hurt in that incident. The man's dead now, but thankfully he didn't get hurt that time, right?
Today,
Fucking
man Jason Williams was arrested on a first-degree murder charge.
This is All News Radio 680 News. The City of Toronto is putting the finishing touches on its annual New Year's party at Nathan Phillips Square. The event starts with a skating party from 8 until 10 o'clock tomorrow night, and then live music taking place on stage from 8 until just before midnight. Road closures will start tomorrow afternoon at 5:30 until 2 in the morning on January 1st around the square. That includes Queen Street, Bay, and York. And you're encouraged to take the TTC, which is free. for everyone tomorrow night.
From what time?
You're listening to Alma News Radio, 680 News at 7:36. A $1 billion acquisition is bringing the builder of the Canadarm2, the robotic arm that serves the International Space Station, back home. 680 business editor Carl Garnish has more on what this could mean for Canadian jobs.
Maxar Technologies has agreed to sell MDA, its Canadian Space and Defense
You've
unit.
agreed to sell MDA?
Which includes
Really?
two of Canada's wealthiest entrepreneurs, John Risley and Jim
I tried
Balsillie.
selling that.
The move means MDA's corporate headquarters is coming back to Canada, where it employs more than 1,900 people. That could grow as the company will operate as a standalone company and is expected to continue supplying its former U.S. parent Maxar with certain components and subsystems. All parties see growth potential for MDA under the new ownership, with Maxar's CEO expecting new opportunities to lift off across the Earth intelligence and space infrastructure categories. The next step, the deal needs the regulatory green light, with officials in Canada and the U.S. expected to review the sale. At the Business Center, I'm Carl Garnish.
Doctors say Bernie Sanders suffered modest heart muscle damage during his recent heart attack. However, they say he has since recovered well and is fit enough for the difficulties of the presidential campaign trail. Letters released today by the Vermont senator's primary care physician and two cardiologists say that despite the heart muscle damage, Sanders has no other symptoms and his blood pressure and heart rate are in optimal ranges. 78-year-old's health has been under extra scrutiny since he suffered a heart attack while campaigning in Nevada on October 1st.
Hockey fans from coast to coast to coast are breathing a sigh of relief. Canada recovering from Saturday's historic loss against Russia with a decisive round-robin victory. After a 4-1 win today over Germany, Canada needs one more win against the tournament host Czech Republic to clinch the top spot in Group B. New Year's Day is an off day before the quarterfinals on Thursday and the semis on Saturday, followed by, of course, the gold medal game on Sunday. Canada is looking to return to the podium after a 6th place finish last year.
680 News Time, 7:38.
680 News. Year in Review. Brought to you by the Chesterfield Shop.
This is Alex Bloomfield with a look back on October 23rd, the day 39 people were found dead in the back of a transport truck in southeast England. The gruesome discovery was first made by
people not understand people need to breathe.
Industrial Park on the eastern edge of Greater London in the wee hours of the morning. All of the victims were Vietnamese nationals, 31 men, 8 women, 10 of them teenagers, most migrants from poor provinces in Vietnam, many whose families were attempting to help relatives have a chance at a better life in Europe. The truck trailer was sealed and refrigerated. The preliminary cause of death believed to be either hypothermia or suffocation. British Prime Minister Boris
Johnson both turn you blue.
The tragedy the morning of the discovery.
All such traders in human beings should be hunted down and brought to justice.
So far, 13 people have been arrested, 8 connected with a smuggling ring in Vietnam, 5 others in England and Northern Ireland, including 2 alleged drivers of the truck, who now face 39 manslaughter charges and several counts of conspiracy to traffic people.
I'm gonna do something, do it right.
Coming up in 30 seconds, we'll take a look at your gas prices. 680 News Time, 7:39.
If you've ever felt jealous of Santa's sleigh, our best holiday ever sales event has powerful vehicles that deliver in all kinds of weather, like the Ram 1500 Classic, now available for 25% off MSRP for up to $17,700 in total discount. Or climb into a Jeep and get up to $11,245 in discount on Canada's #1 selling 4x4 SUV brand. Take the reins of a vehicle you'll love driving every day of the year. See dealer for details.
Now, the 680 News gas price update. Enpro says the price of gas will not change at midnight, staying at $1.19 a liter at most GTA stations. 680 News Time, 7:40. Traffic up next.
First, your disability insurer denies your long-term disability claim, and then your employer threatens to fire you if you don't return to work. Sound familiar? My name is Aaron Waxman, and if your disability insurer
not getting paid for work, does tend to happen in my world. That's why I work for myself.
Call me 416-661-4878, and don't worry about upfront legal fees because there are none.
No lumps.
We get paid when you get paid, and before you call, you should always remember that there are no bad questions. 416-661-4878, or on your cell phone at # LTD.
The Daily
You want to
Grand
die
Lotto is
tonight? This is a bad
$1,000 a day
question.
for life.
This is a bad
Say one day you go hiking and you spot a golden eagle. Pretty lucky, right? Plus, you just made $1,000. The next day, maybe you go
That's
parasailing
cute.
because you want to see what it's like from a bird's eye view.
Thousands,
You
like
made
every day
another
too. That's
$1,000.
very
On the
cute.
third day, you feel an itch to be like the eagle, so you take flying lessons. Why not? No matter what you do and where you go, you make $1,000 every day for life. The Daily Grand Lotto. 2 draws every week on Mondays and Thursdays. $3 for each play.
Come on, man. Buds are a little dense, the count's a little low, but the lead's going to be good.
This report is brought to you by Global Story Network. On the eastbound 401 at Bayview and the Express, we still have a crash here blocking 3 center lanes, and the eastbound 401 Express is just jammed from the Allen in the Express and eastbound
you can see
401
right through the
approaching
tip. See, there's nothing in the tip,
Now it's just the ramp lane that's blocked here with a collision. As a result, it's heavy from approaching Young in the collectors. Eastbound 401 ramps to north and southbound Leslie also blocked. Now, don't forget in the east end, eastbound 401 east of Brock Street, the left lane is blocked for road repairs. It's not causing any big delay. In fact, I'm not spotting any other delays on the major routes around the GTA, with the exception of the westbound 401, a slight bunch up approaching Bayview in the Express. At the intersection of Kennedy and 16th Avenue, at last check, we had traffic lights malfunctioning. What single piece of evidence could prove the innocence of a man on death row for 20 years? Find out in the podcast Surviving
The victim gets found alive.
Visit
What the fuck's on my hook?
globalstorynetwork.com. Your next report is at 7:51. And now the forecast, here is Carl Lamb.
For tonight, cloudy and a low of -1, wind chill -6. As we head into tomorrow, +1 will be the high temperature, and we'll have snow showers before sunrise and also picking up again in the late morning hours, continuing
White
through
shit,
the
I'm like, how did I
afternoon.
wear
We're
black
expecting
clothes
1
and
to
fucking
3
turning
centimeters
white?
of
You get dirty. What the fuck?
A westerly wind tomorrow between 25 to 40 kilometers per hour. Tuesday night, we have some clearing, and we'll have snow showers mainly north of the city, and we'll have an evening temperature around -1 with a wind chill of -8, and 0 for New Year's Day with more clouds than sun, some lake effect snow showers for areas north, but it also extends into the city, and tonight's overnight low -1.
And right now in downtown Toronto, 5 degrees with a partly cloudy sky. Out at Pearson Airport, it's 4 degrees and mostly cloudy.
See, this is like
Police
a
in Hong
fucking
Kong are accusing
45-degree angle.
pro-democracy activists of inciting minors to commit crimes. A police spokesman says the criminal acts includes dropping objects from the upper stories of apartment buildings, and that children as young as 12 have been among the nearly 7,000 people arrested during the protests. He says citizens have had a bumpy year with Hong Kong pushed to the brink of extreme danger.
Rioters have been putting their own interest above public interest, putting their own demand over the well-being of the whole population. It's high time we put an end to violence and restore social order in Hong Kong.
A planned New Year's
Social
Day march
order.
is expected to attract tens of thousands of participants.
You know the history of Hong Kong,
Coming
for
up
real?
in health
What the
and
fuck would
lifestyle
social
news
order
at
be in Hong Kong?
7:48. Now here's a diet I bet you can get behind. A new study says drinking lots of coffee can shed those pounds away.
Oh, damn, is that what's wrong with me?
7:44.
Fuck!
Wants to show you how to make a play this football season. When it feels like the whole country says no, you're asking why not. When everyone in
I thought I had something good going there for a second. It makes you shed pounds. Damn it. I'm trying to pick up everybody else's drop pounds, man. All these rubber bands are for it. How can I set this? I swear I'm gonna throw this somewhere, but it'll shatter. No fucking way. Not tonight. I'm an endangered species. Well, that's covered in salt, man. I was sweating that. How am I sweating at minus 27, bro? Get up an ounce again. What no fucking do? Oh, it doesn't pick up too well. Fuck it. Nobody survives.
Cut you out when I walked in. Yes, dear Lord, you still watching. That's how I do it. Cut him so quick, but his blood drips. It's still blue fluid. Nah, I'm not new to this. Down to die tonight, down to ride tonight. When they kill me, I'll probably have a pocket full of China weight. Chopping in that back blade. Carry so much weight. I got back pain. Fish scale like I've been hunting mermaids.
I've been hunting mermaids.
Send your brains to outer space. His body full of bones. When it's my turn, I'm down to burn. Catch the hellfire from the pistol. Everything in this life is earned. You piece of shit like me. Ain't nobody gonna miss you.
Ain't nobody gonna miss you.
Flags in the sky when we bumping this.
Flags in the sky when we bumping it. That's the man.
We now know the identity of the man who opened fire on parishioners in a Texas church, killing 2 people. ABC's Jim Ryan has the latest on that story.
Keith Thomas Kinnonen's last known address was within 2 miles of West Freeway Baptist Church. The 43-year-old had an extensive criminal record that included aggravated assault with a deadly weapon in Texas and possession of an illegal weapon in New Jersey. Law enforcement sources say he's the man who pulled a shotgun from beneath his coat on Sunday, shot and killed 2 church members before another member shot and killed him.
Oh yeah, 5 people pulled out guns on the man. Good. Don't gather up in a tight little formation and not have a gun. What's wrong with you people?
It's life imitating art. While filming a show called Killing Zac Efron in Papua New Guinea, Zac Efron was reportedly nearly killed by a sudden illness. Efron was reportedly airlifted to Australia for treatment of a bacterial infection, possibly typhoid, transmitted to patients by contaminated food or water.
And the star confirmed this ordeal on Twitter by thanking his well-wishers, then saying he did get sick but quickly bounced back. 680 News Time, 7:50. We'll have a look at your drive coming up in a minute's time.
This health report is brought to you by Cold Drops. 1 drop for temporary relief of sore throat and nasal congestion. Cold Drops are available at Metro pharmacies near you. This product may not be right for you. Always read and follow the label.
When we work together, amazing things can happen. The Love You by Shoppers Drug Mart program works together with local charities to help advance women's health and provide support systems for women to feel their best. To date, we've raised over $66 million to support women's health initiatives in our communities. Join us.
Somebody smashed up the phone again. I'm fucking gonna hurt somebody over there. Swear to God.
Because together we're empowered. Together we're healthier. Together we're unstoppable.
You know what?
Stop smashing up the damn phone.
Using smarter tools to manage your small business. You work too hard to work this hard. Collecting receipts? Is this the 80s? QuickBooks gives you a smarter set of business tools.
Don't fucking touching my phone. Don't bust your head. I swear to God.
But you don't have to go at it alone.
See the receiver on this shit?
just before
Swear to God.
You earned it.
Don't make me
We're here to
pick up
sure
the base.
you get it. And for a limited time, save 70% when you buy Intuit QuickBooks. QuickBooks.
Busting up the phone.
Visit QuickBooks.ca for full offer details.
It's time 7:51. Time for traffic and weather. Together on the roads. Here's Christy Lacos.
This report is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Very well. Some good news for you all around. Eastbound 401 at Bayview in the Express. All lanes heavily open following an earlier collision. Mind you, it's still slow going from the Allen in the Express. And also that collision eastbound 401 approaching Leslie. And the collectors all cleaned away. It's heavy from approaching Young in the collectors. However, the eastbound 401 ramps to north and southbound Leslie, they've been reopened. So there's some additional news. It's just a matter of time before all of this starts to ease off completely. Eastbound 401 east of Brock Street, the left lane is blocked.
Apparently this stays warm for 3 hours.
It may take a couple of days more. We'll let you know when it does reopen. Westbound 401 is busy approaching Bayview in the Express, but that should start to ease off now that those eastbound troubles are gone. Thanks to a traffic spotter for letting me know. Northbound 400 approaching Shepherd. We have a garbage debris in the center lane, so watch out for that.
Garbage. Did anybody call garbage? I don't see garbage in the comments. You don't win.
On the busy side, from Cherry
We've
to
got mattresses,
just approaching
garbage,
Jarvis,
tires,
it looks like we have problems blocking a
truck
piece of the right
cabs.
lane at that location. So that's the reason for the delay on the westbound Gardner through Cherry to just approaching Jarvis. Again, you're down to 2 lanes in that area as it is because of long-term construction. So you only have 1 lane available. The Mercedes-Benz Berry Winter Sales event continues. They're covering your first 3 lease payments OAC on their most popular models. Offer ends December 31st. Details at mbberry.com. Your next report is at 8:01. And now with the forecast, here's Carl Lamb.
For tonight, temperatures drop down to -1 with a wind chill of -6 under a cloudy sky. We'll have snow tomorrow on and off, but it is more intense as we head from late morning into the afternoon. And we're expecting 1 to 3 centimeters of accumulation and a high of +1. For Tuesday night, -1 will be the evening temperature, but you'll want to dress for the wind chill of -8 with those breezy winds still remaining. For Wednesday, 0 will be the high, more clouds than sun, and we'll have some lake effect snow showers for areas north, but it will extend into the city as well. And Thursday, we warm back up to 5 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. Tonight's overnight low, -1.
And right now in downtown Toronto, 5 degrees with a partly cloudy sky. Up at Pearson Airport, it's 4 degrees and mostly cloudy. 680 news time, 7:53.
This extended forecast is brought to you by Cold Drops.
One drop for temporary relief of sore throat and nasal congestion. Cold Drops. Cold Drops are available at Metro pharmacies near you. This product may not be right for you. Always read.
My calendar is about to expire. Yours too. You might want to check. Every year this shit happens.
So the radio show we're doing.
I'm trying to look past Tuesday. There's no Wednesday on that fucking calendar. There's nothing after that page.
You're on the radio. I assume clothing is optional? You do know we're still on TV, right? So that's a yes?
The immensely serious about sports and fully clothed.
I gotta go over this, man. I gotta go over this. They did this last year too. I'm not totally familiar with the details. It says 2020 Waste Reduction Community Grants. Have an innovative idea to reduce waste? I do. Grants of up to $25,000 are available to support innovative community-based efforts to reduce residential waste and increase participation in the City of Toronto's waste diversion programs. Proposals for grant funding must result in a reduction in the amount of waste produced and or an increase in waste diverted from landfill. There's a typo, but I'll give you credit. You didn't throw them out and make new ones. You gave me the one with the typo. That's fine. Foster long-term behavior change related to waste reduction or diversion. Applications for a minimum of $5,000 up to a maximum of $25,000 in grant funding will be considered. I have an idea. This whole apartment building, 351 of these, and 1 year they sent us 2 of them for some reason. So 350 times, that's about 3,000. It's like 3,200 calendars. I'm sure I could have saved you $7,400 telling you not to fucking send us these things. Okay, it doesn't even, where's the garbage days? It doesn't even have them. They know we don't fucking have city pickup. Why the fuck did you send me a garbage schedule with no garbage pickup dates on it? Look what this on. Oh, we got Earth Hour. And then we got Earth Day. They're not even in the same month, eh? There's no garbage pickups on this shit, eh? If I want to throw garbage, I can go anytime, day or night, and just throw it in the dumpster, eh? Okay. I think it's Thursdays it gets picked up. I don't give a fuck, right? Because it's There is no recycling pickup here. So 3,200. Let's say these were $2 each. Did I say 70? So $6,400. Minimum 5,000. You write me a check for $5,000 and stop sending in these goddamn things. And there's more than 12 pages here, I think. These are thick as fuck, yeah? Yeah, they're in the middle. There's extra shit. June, and then whatever the fuck this is. Yeah, I need this. I need a glossy poster telling me what goes in the blue bin, what goes in the garbage, and what goes in the green bin. Because all my garbage goes in one big fucking pile. That's my proposal for the $5,000. I think I just missed the business report, but I think my advice was better. That's okay. They'll run it again in 30 minutes.
Electric vehicles from two companies are in the spotlight. Tesla handed out the first 15 Model 3 sedans that it assembled at its new multi-billion-dollar factory near Shanghai to its employees today. However, analysts at Cowen claim the electric vehicle maker's deliveries could miss the company's target this year as Model 3 demand slumps. But the firm did raise its fourth quarter delivery estimate to 101,000 from 95,000 to reflect better expectations for China and the Netherlands. Tesla at the close was down 3.6%, $414.
Yeah, I can see them buying that shit in the Netherlands.
In a statement on its website,
they got windmills to power it. It's not like they're using nuclear to power the electric cars,
it prepares to launch in 2022, and more than a quarter apparently came from California. However, analysts claim the company has not revealed how many $500 reservations it has taken for the electric vehicles since November. Ford at the close was down 1.1%, $9.25. On the second last day of 2019, Wall Street had its worst day in 4 weeks. Analysts and investors remain cautious as we approach 2020, with some thinking risk markets can't go much higher. On the U.S.-China trade front, reports claim China's vice premier will be in Washington Saturday, expected to sign the partial U.S.-China trade deal. Dow and S&P finished lower for the first time in 3 days. The Dow lost 183 points, 28,462. S&P slid by 18 to 3,221, and the Nasdaq dropped by 60 points, 8,945. On Bay Street, the TSX down 69 points to 17,098. Shares of TC Energy fell by 1.1% at the close to $68.79, even as the company got a buy rating from RBC Capital. Oil was lower for the first time in
RBC's underwriting their fucking pipeline. What the fuck is that? How the fuck can they give that recommendation? Are they not? There's like 5 fucking major banks behind that shit.
Canadian crude index down 0.4%.
I'm gonna have to look that up in a second.
Canadian dollar rose 5/100 of a cent, closing at 76.51 cents US. While gold closed near a 3-month high, up by 50 cents, finishing at 1,518, a 5-day rally. At the Business Center, I'm Carl Garnett.
Keystone XL, the Trans Mountain Express, whatever the fuck it's called.
Today until December 31st, be one of the first 10 people
and the
each
fucking,
day to purchase or lease a new non-hybrid
vehicle. The big banks is what's underwrite. That's where the fucking money comes from to buy the pipe and lease the equipment and pay the payroll. It comes from a bank.
From as low as 0% on select models. Want free winter tires? It's time to Toyota. Deals just east of the 404. Some savings are too big to fit into font. Like Sunwing's Boxing Week sale, where you can save up to 40% on all inclusive
that's gonna bother me when I'm trying to do
rated resorts. Save
so RBC gives TC Energy a buy rating.
Better with our best price guarantee.
I'm sure I'm not the only person that's pretty sure that that's fucking connected.
Off the shelf. Book by January 3rd with your travel agent or...
That means it's 8 o'clock.
Tentative use time, 8 o'clock.
Number 1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News, Toronto.
Good evening. It's Monday, December 30th. I'm Lucas Castellano.
And I'm Christine Ritchie. Here's what's making news this hour. When we look back at the past 10 years, this may be the moment we remember most. From the Raptors win to the start of the Me Too movement, we're looking back at the decade that was.
Peel police have made a 3rd arrest in connection with the murder of a 26-year-old in Mississauga.
Toronto police say one man is in custody following a violent summertime robbery.
Next year's city budget has yet to be approved, but one thing looks certain: Torontonians will be opening their wallets a whole lot more.
The Penguins got a good start against Ottawa. 2 Leafs have been named to the All-Star game and an NBA doubleheader.
I've seen them fucking book people 20 years after the fucking crime, man. Toronto police, Toronto Canada's like that, eh?
Wall Street.
Think you get away with
Houston
something.
fell by 69 points, Dow lower by 183.
You ain't getting away with nothing up there, man.
801. It's time for traffic and weather together on the ones.
Man gets killed in 99.
Good
Was it
evening,
20? No,
Christine
15
Langos.
years. Whatever, 15 years. That's still a fucking incredibly long time.
Major routes, although I am still looking at big delays on
It
the
happened
eastbound
20 years
401
ago.
from the
That's
Allen Express.
why my head's
Approaching
like that.
Young Collectors over to Leslie. We had problems at Bayview in the Express and at Leslie in the Collectors. Everything has been cleared away. All lanes have been reopened. We're just waiting for this volume to get back up to speed. Now, in the Whitby area, eastbound 401 east of Brock Street, left lane is blocked for ongoing road repairs to a sinkhole. So they're still working on that, and it may take a couple of days.
They called it a sinkhole. Thank
There is no
you.
delay in the Whitby area on the eastbound 401, and no
What the
delays on the
fuck are you
westbound
doing?
401. Northbound 400 approaching Shepherd. We had some garbage debris in the center lane, something to watch out for. We're trouble-free on the 404 Don Valley Parkway combination.
Did anybody call garbage debris
Just
center
approaching
lane?
Jarvis, we have a stalled vehicle in the right lane. Looks like it's been cleared out of the way. Nonetheless, a delay still from just west of the Don Valley Parkway over to approaching Jarvis, right through that construction where you're narrowed down to 2 lanes only. Marquee Jewelers are closing in 2020. Get up to 70% off select merchandise during their great sale event on now to Bloor Street West.
I looked at that site and that jewelry looked
Your next
weird,
report is
man.
at 8:11. And now with the forecast, here is Carl Lamb.
For tonight, we head down to an overnight low of -1 cloudy, and those winds will be between 15 to 25 kilometers per hour, making it feel like -6. Tomorrow, cloudy. We'll have some snow showers to start the day before dawn, and then some more snow by the late morning. It will extend into the afternoon, generally accumulating between 1 to 3 centimeters, and it will be windy tomorrow, and we'll have a high of +1. Tonight's overnight low, -1.
And right now, downtown Toronto, 5 degrees, partly cloudy sky. Up at Pearson Airport, 4 degrees, and mostly cloudy. 680 News Time, 8:03.
When the clock strikes midnight on January 1st, an incredible decade will come to an end. It brought us everything from Black Lives Matter to the Me Too movement.
680's Phil Martino joins us with more on some of the stories that shaped the last 10 years.
All right, let's hear
It
it.
has been a decade of ups and downs. For us in Canada, it brought us this high.
There's a new NBA champion, and it's a team from Toronto, Canada.
The Raptors championship
Ontario,
win was
bitch.
definitely a highlight
Toronto,
of the decade.
Ontario. What the
This
fuck
past
is wrong with
decade
you
in
people?
Canada also saw an opioid addiction epidemic, a skyrocket in the price of homes, and the legalization of marijuana. It also saw the
people
rise
thought
of the
crack
Me
was
Too
a
movement
problem.
for victims of sexual abuse, and Black Lives Matter, which began in the U.S. and grew into an international movement protesting against police brutality.
Black Lives Matter is our call to action.
The last decade also treated us to not one, but 2 major royal weddings. Both princes got hitched, William in April of 2011 and Harry in May of 2018. I'm Phil Martino.
680 News Time, 8:04. Toronto police have arrested a man that they believe to be responsible for a violent robbery at a gas station this past summer. Investigators say the incident happened on June 13th, just after 4 a.m., after a man entered a gas station kiosk at Front Street East in Sherbourne wearing a baseball hat and a hoodie pulled around his face. The suspect allegedly brandished a knife and threatened an employee, demanding that he open the cash register. The man then allegedly removed money from the till and assaulted the victim until he was unconscious. He fled the scene shortly after.
See, that's why they dogged your ass. They gave you the money and you still beat them up? No, man. Of course they're going to dog you. All right.
Aggravated assault.
Peel police have made a third arrest in
Dumbass.
connection with the
Good,
murder
I'm
of
glad
a
you got caught.
26-year-old man who was killed outside
People
of
like you get
Mississauga
people like me
condo
fucking killed, eh?
Officers were
Fuck.
called to a shooting outside of the building on Webb Drive just before midnight on October 22nd. Mario Ibrahim of Stouffville was discovered with serious injuries and later died. As a result, investigators say 2 days just before the homicide, Ibrahim was the subject of another murder attempt that occurred while he was in a vehicle on Highway 401. No one was hurt in that incident. On December 4th, a man and woman were arrested in connection with Ibrahim's killing. Police say 38-year-old Jason Williams of Brampton was arrested today on a first-degree murder charge. On December 4th, 2 others, a man and a woman, both from Mississauga, were arrested and charged with first-degree murder.
You're listening to All News Radio 680 News. Health Canada says it has seized several unauthorized health products from a store in Etobicoke. The seized products include 6 prescriptions that were being sold at Excel Beauty Supply in the Albion Centre. Health Canada is reminding people that prescription drugs should be taken only under the advice and supervision of healthcare professionals. The affected products include H20, Jour Naturel, Aloe Vera, and Papaya Root, as well as White Express Fast Action Advanced Formula.
Is it H20? Is it really
people who may
H20?
have purchased the products to not use them.
Police are hoping that help from the public will lead them to a killer who has been on the loose for more than 20 years. Amelia Shake of City News reports.
It's been 21 years since a young pregnant woman was found strangled to death at a parking lot here at 130 Carlton Street. More than 2 decades later, Toronto police are still trying to solve this cold case. On Sunday, March 8th, in 1998, a resident called police after discovering 24-year-old Donna Oakley's body in a parking lot. Detective Stacey Gallant with the Toronto Police, who has been working on this case, says Oakley was 4 months pregnant at the time.
It wasn't a secret amongst her family or friends that she was a sex trade worker at the time. I don't know that everyone knew that she was pregnant at the time of her death.
The killer's DNA isn't currently in the DNA data bank, a challenge when it comes to solving this cold case. Anyone with any information is being asked to contact Toronto Police or Crime Stoppers. You can do so anonymously.
They want my DNA for a fucking theft under.
680 News Time, 8:07.
You
Today
are
proved to
fucking
be quite
tripping.
the weather roller coaster across parts of Ontario. Here in Toronto, we were blessed with record-breaking warmth despite bouts of heavy wind.
No snow in the city, it's great. It makes it easier for walking around. No salt on the sidewalks for the dogs.
Our meteorologist Carl Lamb says this record hitting
There are
9.7
dogs.
degrees
There are
makes
dogs.
today the warmest December 30th ever recorded.
Today was actually record-setting warmth. We're not done yet, but the
They
old
told
record
us for
was
like 6 months this is going to be the
degrees set
coldest
back in
winter ever.
1965, and that is easily been broken today's.
It's our one-day shot of warmth, and then we're right back to seasonal temperatures tomorrow. From your New Year's Eve and day, expect snow showers and flurries.
We did this
and
last
anywhere
week. We did it the
between
week
1 to
before
3
too. What the
centimeters
fuck?
of snow.
The 2020 city budget has yet to
From
be
minus
approved,
27 to
but one
plus
thing looks
9 in
to be
6
certain.
days.
Torontonians will be paying more for certain services. Tammy Sutherland of City News lists some of the items that will take a bigger hit on your wallet in the new year. And there are other increases coming from council. Torontonians will be paying more for garbage collection in 2020. The smallest bins could face the biggest fee hike of about $86, while the median bin increase would be $82. And the TTC board is asking for more money. It's proposing a 10-cent fare hike across the board. That would mean Presto fares would jump to $3.20 per ride, while a monthly adult Presto Pass would rise to $156. If approved, it would take effect on March 1st. And if your commute brings you to Union Station, you have one other thing to look forward to. Metrolinx says work on the Bay Concourse is progressing well and will finally open sometime in 2020. For City News, I'm Tammy Sutherland.
So we come on 680
Oh,
News,
so
traffic and
fun.
weather together on the ones. But first, we'll update you on the price at the pumps.
City News Time 809.
So it's $5 a day,
680 News.
plus $6, plus $6 for the card. The fuck?
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car
What is going on
Donate
here?
online at carsforkids.ca. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll benefit a child and get a maximum tax credit.
RBC, TCK. This is not
Donate
working.
your car.
Also accepting boats, motorcycles, RVs, and truck donations.
Now for the 680 News gas price update, and Pro says the price of gas, it won't change at midnight, staying at $1.19.9 a liter at most GTA stations. Traffic and weather together coming up.
680 News Time 810.
Looking to sell your home? I'm Scott McGilvery. I've worked in Toronto for years, and I know that your home needs the best marketing to create the most demand. Contact Frank Leo and Associates at Remax West and start packing. Go to getleo.com today.
Hello, Alpine Credits. You're the guys that say approved, right?
Yes, sir.
So I want to turn the backyard into a putting green, and my girlfriend did not approve. Could you?
We only approve homeowners for loans, for renovations, consolidating debt, that type of thing.
Well, maybe if I got a loan to do it.
Very nice.
At Alpine Credits, we try to approve all home equity loan
Darn, like,
applications,
what the
regardless
hell?
of your credit, age, or income. Find out more at alpinecredits.ca. Alpine Credits. Homeowners get approved. Fiscal license 12616.
Hey Toronto, Scott McGilvery here. Need to sell your home on time? Frank Leo and Associates of Remax West spends millions of dollars in marketing to sell on your deadline at a price you agree to, or he will buy it. Go to getleo.com and start packing.
It's TV News Time, 8:11.
It's time for traffic and weather together on the ones with an eye on your drive. Here's Christine Langos.
Thank you. And this report is brought to you by 407 ETR. Right now, my eye is on that eastbound 401. It really has improved to the Allen in the Express. We had earlier problems at Bayview in the Express, and that's how far the traffic extended all the way to the Allen. That's not the case any longer. Eastbound 401 is just busy approaching Bayview to Leslie, mainly in the collectors, where we had another collision earlier on. It was there for some time, so that's why the backlog remains, but it is easing, and it's really starting to look good on the 401 across the GTA. I'm seeing a slight slowdown east of Warden in the collectors, and looking at the Durham region, eastbound 401 is in fine shape, despite the fact that we still have road work taking place. Eastbound 401 east of Brock Street, it's in the left lane. Westbound 401 is also moving quite well, and at the bottom end of the city, no problems now on the westbound Gardner approaching Jarvis. Everything has cleared away. We had a slight delay from about Cherry to approaching Jarvis. Again, that's starting to thin out. We're trouble-free also on the QEW through Mississauga, Oakville, and Burlington. The 410 is good into Brampton, and the 403, 427, no problems. 407 ETR traffic experts study driving patterns all year round to ensure a smooth ride 365 days a year. Visit 407etr.com. Your next report is at 8:21. And now with the forecast, here is Carl Lamb.
With mainly cloudy conditions tonight and a low of -1 tomorrow. Snow showers before sunrise, and then it will continue throughout the day, starting in the late morning hours and continuing through the afternoon. 1 to 3 centimeters of accumulation expected, a high of +1. It will be windy again tomorrow. And as you head out for New Year's Eve plans, evening temperatures will be around -1, and we'll have a wind chill of -8 because it will still be breezy out there, and we'll see some clearing. And then for Wednesday, we'll have temperatures only getting up to 0 with more clouds than sun, and some lake effect snow developing for all of the GTA. Tonight's overnight low -1.
And right now in downtown Toronto, 5 degrees with a partly cloudy sky. Up at Pearson Airport, 4 degrees and mostly cloudy.
Ontario's new ban on the promotion of vaping products in convenience stores and gas stations comes into effect on Wednesday. The regulations were announced by the Progressive Conservatives in the fall in response to research that shows vaping is on the rise among many young people in the province. These are similar to current in-store tobacco promotion laws. The government will still allow the products to be promoted in specialty vaping and cannabis shops, which are open to people 19 years old and older. Ontario was set to ban the promotion of vaping products in convenience stores back in 2018 under the previous Liberal government, but the Tories paused those regulations after taking office. Still to come on 680 News, Callum Ming has your sports update from Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
680 News Time, 8:14.
Looking for a new health and wellness routine this coming year?
A Body Blaster Extreme 240X gym membership. I can't wait!
Start with a great sleep instead. Sleep Country's Boxing Week sale is still on, so hurry in. Plus, get amazing prices on duvets, pillows, sheets, and more. And our sleep experts will match you to your best sleep. And get a Hot Buy Queen mattress with temperature-regulating technology, just $349. Hurry in store or online because this price ends Sunday. Sleep Country, all for sleep.
Do you have unfiled taxes? Are you overwhelmed and stressed? Boxes of paper, lost documents, disorganized, confused. Don't know where to start? We do. Call Mark Feldstein Chartered Professional Accountants. We deal with this every day. It's never too late. Start sleeping at night. Call Mark Feldstein Chartered Professional Accountants now at pound tax. That's the pound sign tax. Or visit markfeldstein.ca.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
From the 680 News Broadcast Center in downtown
Just navigating whatever the fuck it wants to do.
Christy Ritchie, here are the top stories this hour.
Out with the teens and in with the 20s. But before we bring in the new year, we're looking back at a decade which saw activism take center stage. Peel police have made a third arrest in the killing of a man who was shot outside a condo in Mississauga. A male and female suspect were also arrested and charged in early December. All three face first-degree murder charges. And hoping to bring in a new decade in style, there are some notable closures to be aware of for tomorrow, as most malls, including Sherway Gardens and Eaton Center, will both close early at 6 o'clock. And be sure to get your adult beverages, as all LCBO and beer stores will be closed on New Year's Day. 680 News Time, 8:15. Now for 680 Sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Good evening, Callum A.
Good evening, Lucas. Well, Austin Matthews and Freddie Anderson were named to the All-Star game today. Will be Anderson's first All-Star appearance, and Matthews talked about the leadership of their netminder.
Well, I mean, he doesn't say much, but I think everybody obviously respects him a lot. And, he's the backbone of this team. Makes a lot of good saves night in, night out. He keeps us in games, so he's not a guy that really has to say much. He just kind of just leads by example and by his play.
Meantime, Ilya Mikheyev has been released from a New Jersey hospital after surgery to repair an artery and tendons in his wrist. He was cut in a game against the Devils on Friday. The 25-year-old is expected to make a full recovery, but will be sidelined at least 3 months. The Leafs are in Minnesota tomorrow night on Sportsnet at 6. Happening now in the NHL, Evgeny Malkin just scored his second of the game to put the Penguins ahead of Ottawa 3-1. To Hoops, the Magic lead Atlanta by 10 at halftime on Sportsnet 1. Later, Phoenix and Portland play on Sportsnet 1 at 10. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at home with Tim and Sid, now on radio and TV. Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Thank you very much, Callum. 680 News Time, 8:17.
Enjoy the sounds of Ricky Nelson as his twin sons Matthew and Gunnar Nelson take the stage live at Niagara Falls View Casino. March 11th to 15th, Ricky Nelson Remembered, starring Matthew and Gunnar Nelson at Niagara Falls View Casino. Visit FallsViewCasinoResort.com for tickets. Ricky Nelson Remembered, starring Matthew and Gunnar Nelson, live March 11th to 15th, only at Niagara Falls View Casino.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We've begun our descent into Bachelor Nation. Please buckle your seatbelts. We're expecting some light turbulence during the cocktail party. And there's about an 80% chance of group dates mixed with every go. Now, coming up on your left, you'll see a limo full of women who are in it for the wrong reasons. And, folks, if you look to your right, you will see my favorite pilot and your brand new Bachelor, Peter Weber. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the Bachelor season premiere, January 6th on Setting TV.
680 News Time, 8:18.
With the new year on the horizon, the City of Toronto will bring new regulations to our local taxi and rideshare services.
Many of us will be hailing a cab or using a ride-share service this New Year's Eve, though. When the clock strikes midnight, there will be a brand new set of regulations for both taxi drivers and those who drive for companies like Uber or Lyft. With just days to go before the new rules are implemented, they aren't sure how to fulfill some of the new requirements, including a new standardized test all drivers will have to take through an unknown third party. We stopped by City Hall today to speak with the director of the department tasked with coming up and implementing the new rules.
We are in the process of hiring someone that will help us assess the different training vendors that are out there.
Now, there's multiple new rules and regulations that the city's rolling out. Another new one is that all cars and drivers will have to post inside their vehicle or on their app if they're recording you on video inside the vehicle. Adrian Gabriel, City News.
680 News Time, 8:19. In international news now, the lawyer for the suspect in a Hanukkah stabbing that wounded 5 people north of New York City is disputing claims that his client is a domestic terrorist. ABC's Dave Packer has the story.
His attorney disagrees with New York Governor Andrew Cuomo's characterization of Brandon Thomas, the suspect in the Muncie, New York Hanukkah stabbings.
I heard nothing in that conversation that confirmed in any way, shape, or manner that he's a domestic terrorist.
Michael Sussman says he's looked at roughly 75 pages of Grafton's writings.
My impression from speaking with him is that he needs serious psychiatric evaluation.
But Sussman says he has not seen the journal writings and Google searches in the federal complaint showing an interest in the Black Israelites and Jews. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Coming up in just a minute, we'll head back to the traffic center with more from Christine Langos and a look at the extended forecast courtesy of Carl Lamb.
680 News Time, 8:20.
Stay one step ahead of the competition with 680 News.
I'm Steve Friedman from the Chesterfield Shop. We've been in business since 1948 and have 5 locations in and around the GTA selling contemporary leather and fabric seating. The Chesterfield Shop has been advertising for over 10 years with 680 News. We find that we are growing our ad dollars with them because the ads are most effective. People know us, they trust us, but we know we have to keep a fresh face out there so that people will come and see what's new at the Chesterfield Shop.
Why choose 680 News?
These days, when there's so many different options and opportunities.
All right, this is not exactly relevant. I'm just going to read it. No, I'm just going to read it. You heard what I said 2 minutes ago, right? 10 minutes ago. So this This is old news. March 17, 2016. At $4.2 billion, TransCanada, now known as TC Energy, but at the time, TransCanada now holds the record for largest bought deal in Canadian history. It says, ladies and gentlemen, there's a new name at the top of the leaderboard for the largest bought deal in Canadian history, moving into first place and with an equity financing that is more than twice as big as its previous record, is TransCanada Corp, which announced a $4.2 billion transaction after markets closed Thursday. Previously, TransCanada's largest equity financing was $1.84 billion in 2009. On that financing, the original commitment was for $1.6 billion, but it rose by another $240 million with the exercise of an over-allotment option by the underwriters, Royal Bank of Canada, Bank of Montreal, and Toronto Dominion Bank. RBC is giving a buy recommendation for their own fucking project. Okay, so tell me there's money in this somehow. It's not real. It's not sustainable. It's not tenable. It's not real. If you're investing money in this shit, you're fucking retarded.
-6 for tomorrow, +1 will be the high, and we'll have snow showers before sunrise, and then also some more from the late morning into the afternoon. 1 to 3 centimeters expected, and we'll have a westerly wind tomorrow gusting up to 50 kilometers per hour. Tomorrow evening, temperatures right around -1 and a wind chill of -8. It will still be breezy, but we'll have some clearing. Any snow stays mainly north of the city. And then for Wednesday, as we start 2020, we only get up to 0, and we'll have more clouds and sun. Some lake effect snow for areas north, extending into the city at times, and tonight's overnight low, -1.
And right now, downtown Toronto, 5 degrees, partly cloudy sky. Up at Pearson Airport, 4 degrees, and mostly cloudy.
Holes in my legs. I got holes in my legs.
10349. It's a slap in the face. You're
Might as well have another fucking cigarette. My legs are full of fucking holes, man.
Call Northwood Mortgage. Northwood Mortgage takes a closer look at your financial picture, property equity, past records, the promise of performance, and more. Northwood Mortgage does everything they can to approve the mortgage you need. That's their business. Northwood Mortgage. Visit northwoodmortgage.com.
We're working harder for you.
Somewhere beyond the headlines lies the big story. Hosted by veteran Canadian journalist Jordan Keith Rawlings. The Big Story. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe now.
First and fast. Breaking news when it happens on 680 News.
Harry Styles is at the top of the Billboard 200 album chart with Fine Line for a second week.
I don't give a fuck about copyright. I don't want to hear this shit.
News time 8:24. Niagara Regional Police are investigating a fight between two female shoppers in an outlet mall parking lot.
She goes, I don't know what a signal is. You don't know what a signal is? Guess what? Even in China, they have signal lights.
A video emerged that shows one of the women hurling racial slurs at the other. The incident is believed to have taken place on Boxing Day outside the Outlet Collection at Niagara, an outdoor shopping complex in Niagara on the lake. The St. Catharines Standard reports the woman who shot the video claims the dispute began after she pulled into a parking spot that the other woman had apparently been waiting for. The Niagara Regional Police Service has confirmed it is aware of the video and that the incident is being investigated as one of several parking disputes.
Back up 5 feet and block them in. Fuck them.
In just a minute, we'll head to the business center
Why you get mad
with an
for it?
update from Carl Garnish.
Big City News Time 8:25.
You're too depressed to work, and your insurance company ignores your
You
doctor's
gotta be way
opinion
more
and
creative
denies
with your
your
problem
long-term
solving.
disability claim. Sound familiar? My name is Aaron Waxman, and if your disability claim has been denied for any reason, call me at 416-661-4878. And don't worry about upfront legal fees, because there are none. At my law firm, my team of lawyers only get paid when you get paid. And before you call, you should always remember that there are no bad questions.
416-661-4878 or on your cell phone at pound LTD.
How the fuck is that transparency if you're the underwriter of a company and you're giving a buy rating for the company?
I'll get them both at the big Lazy Boy Boxing Week sale.
And what's the excuse they're going to use? All the major banks are part of it, so you're going to get biased information no matter what, so fucking deal with it. That's what the answer is going to be.
The biggest sale of the year.
Double scratch and save up to 50% off your purchase at 9 GTA stores plus Kitchener.
Now time for the 680 News Business Report. Here's Carl Garnish.
The company considered an anchor of Canada's space program could return home. Maxar Technologies has agreed to sell its Canadian Space and Defense Unit, MDA, to a group led by Northern Private Capital for $1 billion. Starting as a BC-based startup around 50 years ago, the company is known for building the Canadarm2, which has served the International Space Station. Expected to operate as a standalone company, the investment firm says MDA's corporate headquarters will return to Canada, where it employs more than 1,900 people. The deal now needs the green light from Canadian and U.S. regulators. U.S. shares of former parent Maxar rose to a one-year high today. At the close, the stock was higher by 15.4%, $16.49. A losing day for Bay and Wall Street as investors cautiously prepare for 2020. On the U.S.-China trade front, reports claim that China's vice premier will make his way to Washington Saturday to sign the partial trade deal that both countries have agreed to. TSX down 69.17,098. According to Bloomberg, pot stocks are looking to end the year on a dismal note as the industry's first exchange-traded fund, the Horizons Marijuana Life Sciences ETF, closed at $8.17. That's its lowest since launching in April of 2017.
No revenue. It's all venture capital money.
Came amid broader weakness in global markets, as well
the province says they lost $40 million in the first year.
A big loser on Bay today, Hexo lost 4.7% at the close, finishing at an all-time low of $2. Kronos Group down 3.7%, $8.63. Canopy Growth down by 2.3%. $24.51. Oil was lower for the first time in 5 days, sliding 4 cents to close at $61.68 a barrel. Canadian dollar was higher by 5/100ths of a cent, closing at 76.51 cents US. It's a 5-day rally for gold up 50 cents, finishing at 1,518, closing near a 3-month high. Stateside, all three U.S. benchmarks had their worst day in 4 weeks. Dow and S&P finishing lower for the first time in 3 days. Dow sunk 183 points. S&P slipped by 18, while the Nasdaq dropped by 60. At the Business Center, I'm Carl Garnish.
I saw it coming this year, but whether it's cold or not, I know I'll be ready. It's the Get Winter Ready event at Sale. Starting Wednesday, and for a limited time, get up to 50% off a great selection of outdoor gear. Every great story begins at Sale.
Here's 4 holiday carolers working in unison to demonstrate Subaru's symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Nice. Now here's what that sounds like if it wasn't full-time. Again, full-time all-wheel drive. Not full-time all-wheel drive. In a Canadian winter, that just doesn't sound right. Visit your local Subaru dealer for great Boxing Week specials.
This is your breaking news station, 680 News. I saw it coming this year, but whether it's cold or not, I know I'll be ready. It's the Get Winter Ready event at Sale. Starting Wednesday, and for a limited time, get up to 50% off a great selection of outdoor gear. Every great story begins at Sale.
Now with a look at your business traveler's forecast. In Vancouver, light rain reported, 9 degrees.
Really?
In Calgary, overcast skies and -2. Edmonton, overcast as well and -1. Winnipeg, overcast, -9. In Ottawa, flurries, -2 degrees. In Montreal, foggy
I want to sell
conditions at the
windshield
moment,
wipers
-1.
in
And
Vancouver.
Halifax, light rain and very windy with a high of 6 degrees. Here in downtown Toronto, partly cloudy skies, 5 degrees. At Pearson Airport, similar conditions, a little bit cooler, partly cloudy, and 4, it feels like -1. The News Watch never stops. 680 News is CFTR AM Toronto. Joey Keeney is our evening show editor, and James Mackin is holding it down at the digital editor's desk. 680 News time, 8:30.
Number 1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Good evening. This is Monday, December 30th. I'm Christine Ritchie.
And I'm Lucas Castelletto. Here's what's making news right now.
From the Me Too movement to Black Lives Matter is a tool for our allies to show up differently. We're looking back at the news stories that shaped the decade.
Put the spring jacket away after today's record 10-degree high, and time to pull out that winter parka again as cooler temperatures move in overnight, bringing flurries and wind.
In an attempt to protect the province's teenagers from vaping, come Wednesday, all vaping ads in Ontario gas stations and stores will be banned.
A third person is arrested for first-degree murder after a man is found dead outside a Mississauga condo.
2 Toronto Maple Leafs named to the All-Star game at the end of January, and 1 NHL game on the schedule tonight. Sports at 45.
YouTube has plans for kid-targeted videos in the new year. Markets pulled away from record-closing highs. Dow lost 183 points. TSX lower by 69. Business at 56.
60 news time, 8:31.
Time for traffic and weather together on the Williams. Here's Christine Michaels.
This report is brought to you by Salvation Army Thrift Store. We have one issue on the eastbound 401. Eastbound 401 east of Leslie in the collectors. We have some troubles over here on the shoulder. It looks like a stalled vehicle. A tow is on scene, and we have some flashing lights that motorists might be slowing down to look at. But otherwise, no delays on the 401 across the GTA, despite the fact that we still have that road work taking place eastbound 401 east of Brock Street in Whitby. That's where the left lane is blocked. But again, volume is so light on the major routes, it's not causing any slowdown. Westbound 401 in great shape, and we're also moving well on the north and southbound Don Valley 404 combination. Heading into and out of downtown, the Gardner Expressway is wide open, and the QEW is moving well through Mississauga, Oakville, and Burlington. At last check, we had traffic light troubles at Kennedy and 16th Avenue, but I just had a look through that area and no delay whatsoever. Your gently used clothing and household items can help those who need it the most right here in your community. Donating to the Salvation Army Thrift Store supports families in need. Visit thriftstore.ca. Your next report is at 8:41. Now with the forecast, here is Carl Lamb.
Down to -1 tonight, wind chill -6 with a cloudy sky. Tomorrow before sunrise, we'll have a shot of snow and then some more snow late morning into the afternoon. Accumulation of about 1 to 3 centimeters, and we'll have a westerly wind of 25 to 40 kilometers per hour and high of +1 for Tuesday night. If you're headed down to Nathan Phillips Square, evening temperature around -1, but a wind chill of -8 since it will be breezy, and we'll have some snow showers mainly north after about 8 o'clock. Tonight's overnight low -1.
Partly cloudy, 5 degrees in the city of Toronto. At Pearson International Airport, similar conditions, partly cloudy and 4 degrees. 680 News Time, 8:33.
It's time to say goodbye to 2019 and to a decade that was steeped in activism. We saw the Black Lives Matter movement take center stage, and the Me Too movement spread worldwide.
680's Phil Martino joins us now with a look at some of the stories that shaped the last 10 years.
Activism took center stage this past decade. Climate change was a big story. Black Lives Matter grew into an international movement protesting against police brutality. The founders call it their call to action.
It is a tool to reimagine a world where Black people are free to exist.
Then there was the Me Too movement. Survivors of sex abuse shared their stories with the hashtag Me Too. The hashtag really took off after it was used to take down film producer Harvey Weinstein. It sparked the conversation about consent and harassment worldwide. Here's talk show host Ellen DeGeneres.
I will say it right now out loud. Me too.
And here in Canada, home prices more than doubled since the start of the decade. Marijuana was legalized. And a highlight for many proud Canadians, the Toronto Raptors won the NBA championship. I'm Phil Martino. 680 News Time, 8:34. We hit record warm temperatures today. This has been a mild start to the winter, but don't get too comfortable without a jacket. When we say Canadian winter, we normally think snow, ice, and more snow. Well, it's December 30th, and today we almost hit 10 degrees.
Which is weird because I keep checking the weather like app, and they keep telling me like, oh, snow may come, or like it's going to be really cold.
Our 9.7 degrees is a record-breaking high thanks to the warm front that moved in from the States. Right behind it, however, is a cold front that's bringing temperatures right back down to seasonal, so bundle up.
We'll start to see those snow showers begin during the overnight and then continuing into tomorrow morning's drive. Looks like it may slow down portions of the morning drive, making for a little bit of a headache.
And snow showers, flurries, and seasonal temperatures are all in the New Year's Eve and day forecast.
680 News Time, 8:35. Ontario's vaping promotion ban takes effect in the new year. This Wednesday, convenience stores and gas stations across Ontario will no longer be allowed to promote vaping. The regulations were announced by Ford's Conservatives back in autumn in response to research that shows vaping is on the rise among youth. These new rules are similar to tobacco laws. The government will still allow vaping products to be promoted in specialty shops, which will be open to people 19 and up. Ontario
I knew how to make that shit. I would have made that years ago. I didn't know you could fucking distill and vaporize nicotine oil and sell
Police
it.
arrested the third suspect in the murder of a 26-year-old man who was shot to death outside a condo in Mississauga. Mario Ibrahim of Stoneville was found dead on Webb Drive back in October. Meantime, investigators say Ibrahim was the target of another murder attempt that happened while he was driving on the Highway 401. Today, police say 38-year-old Jason Williams of Brampton was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. Back on December 4th, a man and a woman were also arrested for first-degree murder.
A man from Oakville is being detained in Egypt without charge. Faiza Amin from City News has the story.
Weddings, birthdays, and anniversaries are just some of the milestones Yasser Al-Baz missed this year. The last time his family spoke to him was in February, when the 51-year-old was boarding a plane back to Canada from Cairo. He had left 2 months earlier for a business trip he had taken many times before to Egypt. Only this time, he didn't return. Since his detainment, Yasser's daughter Amal Al-Baz and human rights groups have been urging the Canadian government to intervene in her father's case.
We don't have any answers, and that's why we are boiling with frustration. The Canadians don't know anything, and it seems like the Egyptians don't know anything.
Since earlier this year, he's been inside Tor prison, a jail that's been flagged for its human rights violations and abuses towards inmates.
For Canada and Egypt. And to me, this is reflective more on Canada than Egypt and our government's ability to demand a commitment and to release my father.
There are currently several government-issued advisories in place for Egypt, with officials telling Canadians to avoid non-essential travel.
680 News Time, 8:37. A 30-year-old Toronto man is facing a slew of charges in connection with a violent gas station robbery. Police say back on June 13th, a man walked into a gas station in the Front and Sherbourne area armed with a knife. He jumped the counter, demanded cash, and ordered the clerk to lay on the floor. After taking money from the cash, the man stomped on the gas station worker's head, rendering him unconscious. The victim suffered a fractured eye socket, a fractured skull, and cuts and bruises to his face. 30-year-old Ryan Foster is charged with 2 counts of robbery with an offensive weapon, disguised with intent, possession of a weapon, and aggravated assault.
680 News Time, 8:38. Health Canada says they seized a number of unauthorized health products from a store in Etobicoke. Excel Beauty
buys
Supply,
that shit? You're
store in the
crazy to
Albion
buy that
Center,
shit.
was allegedly selling products that could pose serious health risks like skin deterioration and low or high blood pressure. According to the product labels, the 6 skin products contain prescription drugs. The affected ones include H20, Jour Naturel, Aloe Vera, and Papaya Cream, as well as a White Express Fast Action Advanced Formula. Health Canada wants to remind the public that selling these products should not be allowed.
680 News Time, 8:38.
680 News.
Year in review.
Brought to you by the Chesterfield Shop.
This is Carl Hansky with a look back on Thursday, June 13th, the night the Toronto Raptors made NBA history, becoming the first Canadian team to win the championship.
Free Raptors tattoos. Now you're all part of the family. You're a fucking gang now, right? This is kind of crazy. I forget this shit happened. Like I remember, so I mean the headline sort of tells it. I mean, if you don't know Toronto and Ontario and Montreal and Vancouver and Halifax and shit, there's fucking we got criminals of every fucking ethnicity up here, right? So says. What the fuck is this guy? I'm not reading your name. Expect more killings in bloody GTA mob mayhem. This shit's crazy. The underworld bloodletting that has sent a slew of and this media outlet has to embellish everything. So some of these sentences are fucked up. The underworld bloodletting that has sent a slew of mobsters to the morgue is certain to turn 2020 into another violent year. Various criminal groups ranging from traditional organized crime. Okay, they mean Italian mafia. I don't know why they say traditional, like they're being politically correct or something. Traditional organized crime to street gangs to the Hells Angels. By the way, all of those have been around for quite some time, so I don't know what's more traditional. It really depends where you grew up, eh? Street gangs to the Hells Angels are all vying for a seat at the buffet. Drugs, gambling, girls, and a cavalcade of new illicit money-making schemes are the golden chalices. And with billions at stake, that's a prize worth killing for. I don't know who the fuck this guy is, but they're giving his name, so he probably fucking... There's a lot of guys up in Canada here that... journalists and people like that, and they end up getting killed and shit all the fucking time. Well, they like to follow around various organized crime groups and try to expose them and shit. So I don't know who this guy is, but it says, quote, I expect more mob killings in the ongoing Andrangheta shakeout, end quote. Underworld watcher James Dubrow told the Toronto Sun. I don't know who the fuck that is, man. There are several of the Calabrese criminal clans operating in the GTA. Dubrow believes the clock is ticking down. See, if you're not Italian, you just, oh, the Italians. I don't know all your family names, eh? No offense. I'd rather not know for the most part, you know. But, so I know Andrangheta, Calabrese, all these guys don't get along. I get it. Dubrow believes the clock is ticking down to zero on reputed Hamilton mob chieftain Pat Musitano. He has predicted Musitano's demise in the past. That's not a hard prediction to make once you hear some of the shit that's gone down. But the wily son of the underworld has survived, battered but still standing. Quote, the killing will continue. Amazingly, I started working on mob stories in 1974, so I guess he's a writer. And things are almost worse today as we enter 2020 in terms of numbers of slayings and criminal activities, Dubrow said. He added, organized crime is different than it was in the 1970s. There are more criminal groups and they're more diverse. That's what I was saying. The warfare that started with the slaying of mob scion Angelo Musitano outside his watered-down home in 2017 shows no sign of ebbing. Musitano had reportedly retreated from his family's criminal enterprises, but was still clipped. Thank you. His death was the first sign that gangland rivals were tossing away the old rules. It was now open season on families and fringe players alike. Well, everybody's going a little fucking crazy. Everybody's developing for real PTSD. So yeah, guys are going crazy in the night in the street shooting and shit. Okay. Even, you know, Rambo knives and machetes and swords and crossbows and shit, you know, like fucking, the next one's about a car crash. So you can get hit any which way, right? Says it was now open season on families and fringe players alike, a mobster's soft underbelly. Cici Lupino must have realized that on January 30th, 2019, so this is still this year, when the 43-year-old was gunned down at his Hamilton home. His father is reputed crime lord Rocco Lupino, but his son did not have a criminal record, wasn't known to police, and was even caught on tape saying he wanted nothing to do with the underworld. It didn't save him. And in August, Roncesvalles Avenue restaurateur Paul Caputo, 64, was murdered late on a Friday afternoon. Caputo was rumored to have underworld connections, but if anything was a bit player. Much of the current chaos in the criminal milieu emanates, you didn't know I knew that word, eh? Emanates from Montreal, where alliances melt like snow in spring. The Musitano clan had long been allied with the Rizzutos, but that crime group's omnipotent power is fading, and the Hamilton crew now find themselves surrounded by enemies on all sides. Pat Musitano discovered that in April. The alleged gangster barely survived a brazen daytime assassination attempt outside his lawyer's Mississauga office. A hitman parked numerous bullets into Musitano, but not the magic one. A suspected... It's very flavorful, these words. A suspected Montreal hit squad's next kick at the can in whacking the mobster was also a debacle outside Musitano's Hamilton home. Police sources say mafia power brokers have increasingly offloaded killing to hitters from street gangs in Toronto and Montreal. yeah, you have no idea what somebody you can look over your shoulder, but you don't know who's coming for you. These guys don't appear to be particularly good at planting their targets in the ground. Challenging the supremacy of traditional organized crime has been the Hells Angels, who have been fighting their own legal battles in Quebec. Yep. Yet their tentacles stretch deep into Ontario. They are fighting for every dime bag. They're fighting for every dime bag. Well, the Hells Angels MC is a motorcycle club. They don't sell drugs. So if some guy's a member of a club and he sells drugs, that don't mean they all sell drugs, because they don't. Some of these guys are like fucking wealthy already off like independent businesses and shit. So. Quote, Hells Angels are picking up steam in the drug world, and black street gang shootings and killings will continue, Dubrow added. If you say so. Since the botched hit on Musitano, the longtime underworld figure has kept a low profile. He has also moved from his central Hamilton home. Pat Musitano's time is up, finally and for real, Dubrow said. But don't book a tux for the coronation just yet, and that's where it ends. Okay, so check this shit out. So that was today, this morning. This is crazy. There's so many of these stories. I don't recall this one. It says July 24th, 2019. Was head-on crash a murder attempt on Musitano associate? The battle for now. See, once you, I must have missed something. I'm just gonna read it. The battle for control of Southern Ontario. The same guy wrote this one too. Underworld rackets took a bizarre twist in Hamilton this week. A 76-year-old quote-unquote family friend of Fat Pat Musitano was injured in a head-on. Was injured in a head-on crash Monday in front of the reputed underworld chief's St. Clair Boulevard home. The Hamilton Spectator reports. The driver of the other car, a 25-year-old Montreal man, was later arrested on suspicion of failing to remain at the crash and conspiracy to commit murder, but then released without charge because of insufficient evidence, police told the paper. Cops believe the Musitano family friend was marked for death. Detective Sergeant Peter Tom told the Spectator investigators are not getting any cooperation from the parties involved. Really? The elderly, quote-unquote, Musitano associate, I don't know who they're quoting, the cops probably, was backing his Buick into the Musitano driveway around 4:30. He drives a Buick, eh? Around 4. Stereotypes, eh? Into the Musitano driveway around 4:30 p.m. when he was apparently, quote, spooked by something he saw, Tom said. He then allegedly quickly accelerated at a Mercedes southbound on the street, and the vehicles collided, causing damage to both. Two of the three men inside the luxury car made a run for it. That's one thing. You drive a Buick and you feel like ramming it into a Benz, go for it. The trio is described. I'm talking about the damages. The trio is described as black and between 25 and 30 years old. Two were, I don't give a fuck. Two were around 6 feet with muscular builds, while the third was short and stocky. Well, you got yourselves a little entourage / crew going on here. That could be 10 million fucking guys, eh? Coming from a 76-year-old Italian man's eyewitness, eh? Tom added that the Mercedes had been spotted in the area for some time. Now, who told you that, or were you just watching the blog? The incident may be the latest salvo in a Southern Ontario mob war that has claimed a score of victims. Musitano himself was the victim of a targeted hit in April outside his lawyer's Mississauga office. A triggerman parked a slew of bullets into the crime chief's body, and for several days he was left clinging to life. However, he pulled through the assassination attempt. Longtime Underworld observer James Dubrow. That's a strange title. Underworld Observer. I'm an observer. To what end, though, sir? James Dubrow has said that rivals have wanted to punch Musitano's ticket for years. I'll punch your ticket, yeah. At the heart of the battle are newer clans sprinkled around the GTA. The Young Turks, Dubrow told the Toronto Sun last spring, want Musitano off the board. To them, Pat is a mustache Pete, an old-timer out of touch with the times, Dubrow said. And that's where that one ends. The flowery. The strange words, strange choices of words in your article. So yeah, that's been going on. We have a supposed tow truck war, tow truck associated violence. So I guess that would be TTAV or something. I'll probably write it down like that in our books now. Possible TTAV. POSS TTAV. That's the shortest number of letters possible. And these motherfuckers are shooting at each other now. There's a lot of money on the line too, so that doesn't surprise me.
Complete. The coughing, aching, congested chest, stuffy head, power through your day. Medicine. To ensure this product is right for you, always read and follow the label. Keep out of reach of children.
News time 8:51. We'll look at the roads. Here's Christine Lango.
This report is brought to you by 407 ETR. Well, there goes one of our only problems on the major routes. Eastbound 401 east of Leslie and the collectors. Collision has been cleared off of the shoulder. All lanes are open now, east and westbound on the 401 across Toronto. However, in the Whitby area, they're still doing some road repairs to a sinkhole which developed last week. Eastbound 401 east of Brock Street, the left lane is blocked, but it's really not causing any big delay for you right now. Westbound 401 is also moving well across the GTA. It's good into Mississauga, into Milton, no troubles. We're also trouble-free on the 404 Don Valley Parkway combination, on the Gardner-Cuey combination. In Hamilton, there is a bit of construction westbound on the 403 at York Main Street. That's where the right lane is blocked, but again, because volume is so light, it's causing no delays whatsoever. With 24/7 monitoring of 407 ETR's road conditions and crews on standby, you don't have to give up your safe and reliable drive this winter on 407 ETR. Your next report is at 9:01. And now with the forecast, here is Carl Lamb.
For tonight, temperatures drop down to -1 with a wind chill of -6 under a cloudy sky. We'll have snow tomorrow on and off, but it is more intense as we head from late morning into the afternoon. And we're expecting 1 to 3 centimeters of accumulation and a high of +1 for Tuesday night. -1 will be the evening temperature, but you'll want to dress for the wind chill of -8 with those breezy winds still remaining. For Wednesday, 0 will be the high, more clouds than sun, and we'll have some lake effect snow showers for areas north, but it will extend into the city as well. And Thursday, we warm back up to 5 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. Tonight's overnight low, -1.
And right now in downtown Toronto, 5 degrees, partly cloudy sky. At the Pearson Airport, 4 degrees and mostly cloudy. 680 News Time, 8:53.
This extended forecast is brought to you by Cold Drops. One drop for temporary relief of sore throat and nasal congestion.
Cold Drops.
Cold Drops are available at Metro pharmacies near you. This product may not be right for you. Always read and follow the label. Do you want to make more money? Own your own business? Shake things up. Visit the Franchise Expo January 11th and 12th at the Metro Toronto Convention Center. Your ticket to the Franchise Expo gets you face-to-face with North America's hottest franchises, offering full and part-time opportunities, plus free seminars with everything you need to know to own a business. There are countless opportunities to be the boss, call the shots, and love your work at Canada's largest franchise expo, January 11th and 12th at the Metro Toronto Convention Center. Get tickets at TorontoFranchiseExpo.com.
Coming up at 9 o'clock, the latest on the end of 2019 and the close of a decade that was steeped in activism, with everything from the Black Lives Matter campaign to the Me Too movement that spread worldwide. And the city hit a record 10 degrees today, but that balmy weather will still be replaced with colder temps and flurries. 680 News Time, 8:54.
The 680 News Extreme Weather Center.
The latest forecast, delays on your commute, and whether schools are open or closed.
Anytime a storm hits the GTA, the 680 News Extreme Weather Center is activated.
Brought to you by Subaru, confidence in motion. And Air Transat, vacation is calling.
Exclusively on 680 News and 680news.com.
680 News Time, 8:55. Bombardier says it's getting ready to ship the last of Toronto's new streetcars. In a tweet this morning, it says the final cars are just undergoing testing and inspection in Thunder Bay before being shipped to the city next week. Since the $1 billion contract was signed in 2018, there have been significant delays in delivering the new streetcars. The last of the old TTC streetcars were officially retired yesterday. Sad to see them go, but New ones are kind of spiffy too. Coming up
I
in a
hate the
minute's
new ones.
time, we'll have the business report.
I don't believe they hold more people. Those things are cracked as fuck.
Hope you're prepared for some really weird junk.
We love weird junk.
What's the weirdest thing you guys have ever picked up?
8,000 pounds of cheese. 13 life-size porcelain Buddhas.
What I've got is weirder than that.
Weirder than 1,000 pounds of used diapers?
1,000 pounds?
If you think your junk is weird and you'd like us to make it disappear, all you have to do is point. Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
Hi, it's Fido. Holidays are in full swing and the fun continues with Boxing Week. Treat yourself, you've earned it. The Samsung Galaxy S10 or A70 is at $0 on select 2-year plans. $0, never-ending fun. And go all out without going over with data overage protection included on all new plans. Hurry up in store or at Fido.ca to discover more holidays. Conditions apply. Fido, go get it.
Time 8:56 now, the 680 News Business Report. Here's Carl Garnish.
YouTube is setting its sights on videos designed for children in 2020. According to reports, the platform plans to limit the data it collects from these videos next month to comply with a federal privacy clampdown. Recently, it began requiring creators to designate whether the content they post is targeted at children or a broader audience, and failure to properly do so could actually lead to Federal Trade Commission fines. Analysts note that kid-targeted videos on YouTube will not include personalized ads based on Google's data about the viewer, and that could squeeze the ad dollars that Google shares with creators, which might actually lead to less child-friendly content on the platform. Shares in Google parent Alphabet at the close down 1.1%, $1,339.71. A losing day for North American markets, and we'll say investors remain cautious as we approach 2020, with some thinking risk markets can't go much higher. On the U.S.-China trade front, reports claim China's vice premier will be in Washington Saturday when he's expected to sign the partial trade deal that both sides agreed on. Wall Street had its worst day in 4 weeks. Dow and S&P finishing lower for the first time in 3 days. Dow lost 183 points. S&P slid by 18, while the Nasdaq fell by 60. As for Bay Street, TSX down by 69 points to 17,098. Shares of Restaurant Brands International, the parent company of Tim Hortons, Burger King, and Popeyes, is in focus. The stock had to close down 1% to $83.50. The company stated that the president of Tim Hortons is going to step down next March after 2 years on the job, but that he will help with the transition process. As well, Axel Schwan, who was appointed general president of Tim Hortons for Canada and the U.S. in October, has now been added to the global leadership team. Reports claim the Bank of Canada has officially begun its search for its next governor as Stephen Poloz prepares to step down in June. Canadian dollar was higher by 5/100ths of a cent to close at 76.51 cents U.S. It was a 5-day rally for gold up by 50 cents, finishing at 1,518, finishing near a 3-month high, while oil was lower for the first time in 5 days, sliding by 4 cents, closing at 61.68 a barrel. At the Business Center,
And I can see scratches all over it. That's been in circulation
When we
for
work together, amazing things can
over 2
happen.
years.
The Love You by Shoppers Drug Mart program works
maybe
together with
3
local
years it's been in
charities to help
circulation.
advance women's health and provide support systems for women to
can't
feel
have
their
it.
best. To date, we've raised over $66 million to support women's health initiatives in our
Toronto
communities.
Maple Leafs,
Join us in being a champion for
1917,
women's health.
2017
Visit
dollar.
shoppersdrugmart.ca
So it's not
/love you to
particularly
learn how you
valuable,
can
but
participate.
no,
Because
if
together
you
we're
want 'em, you gotta
empowered.
grab 'em now,
Together
'cause
we're
you're not gonna
healthier.
hit 'em
Together
later.
we're unstoppable.
The Ontario Federation of Snowmobile Clubs wants to take this opportunity to thank the many snowmobilers who
And the coin doesn't need to be protected. I put it like this so nobody spends it.
discontinued for 2020, but you can still ride the trails with an appropriate 2020 Ontario
And I don't have to wash it a second time. It never needs to be cleaned ever again. It should never fucking corrode because of what it's made out of.
Or to volunteer with the club, visit ofsc.on.ca. That's ofsc.on.ca.
We'll get you home with the best local traffic reports on the ones on 680 News.
Now, 680 News regional weather conditions for Walmart. With Walmart's guaranteed unbeatable low prices, save $5.76 on 4.43 liters of Purex laundry detergent. Now, only $6.97 at Walmart.
In Oakville, 4 degrees, mostly cloudy. Richmond Hill, 3 degrees, overcast sky there. Oshawa, 4 degrees and mostly cloudy. And up at Newmarket, 3 degrees with a mix of rain and snow. Sounds lovely. Right now in downtown Toronto, 5 degrees, partly cloudy. This is CFTR 680 News Time, 9 o'clock.
On for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News, Toronto.
Good evening. It's Monday, December 30th. I'm Lucas Calzalotto.
And I'm Christine Ritchie. Here's what's making news this hour.
Well, don't ruin it for me. I'm about to find out.
2019 comes to an end, so does a decade that saw everything from the death of bin Laden,
leader of Al-Qaeda,
to the start of the Me Too movement.
A brutal gas station robbery unsolved for 6 months, but Toronto police have now made an arrest.
Peel Police have arrested and charged a third person as part of a homicide investigation in Mississauga.
It's time to bundle up and get your shovels ready. And the snow is on the way. One day.
I can't keep track of what stories related to what story.
The Leafs will send 2 players to St. Louis for the All-Star game. The Penguins are all over Ottawa, and there's an NBA doubleheader on Sportsnet 1. Sports at 15.
Come 2020, a number of smartphone users will not be able to use WhatsApp. Markets pulled away from record-closing highs. Dow lost 183 points. TSX down by 69. Business at 27.
News time 9:01.
It's time for traffic and weather together on the ones with Toronto's most frequent traffic reports. Here's Christine Langos.
Thank you, Lucas. And this report is brought to you by Don Valley North Lexus. Just seeing some road work on the major routes around the GTA, but no delays whatsoever. And I'm really checking. If you're traveling on the eastbound 401, just be aware that in Whitby, the left lane is still blocked off because of sinkhole repairs. Again, no delay because of that light volume. North and southbound Don Valley Parkway in great shape. The Gardner Expressway, despite the fact that we have that construction between the DVP and York both ways, no delays whatsoever. On the westbound QEW and Winston Churchill, they're just setting up shop in the left lane. They'll have construction here when all is said and done. And in Hamilton, westbound 403 at Main Street, the right lane is closed for construction. At Don Valley North Lexus, lease the 2020 Lexus NX 300 from just $188 bi-weekly for 40 months. Visit DonValleyNorthLexus.com for details. Your next report is at 9:11. And now with the forecast, here's meteorologist Carl Lamb.
For tonight, we head down to an overnight low of -1, cloudy, and those winds will be between 15 to 25 kilometers per hour, making it feel like -6. Tomorrow, cloudy, we'll have some snow showers to start the day before dawn, and then some more snow by the late morning. It will extend into the afternoon, generally accumulating between 1 to 3 centimeters, and it will be windy tomorrow. And we'll have a high +1. Tonight's overnight low, -1.
And right now downtown, 5 degrees, partly cloudy sky. Up at Pearson Airport, 4 degrees and mostly cloudy. 680 news time, 9:03.
The end of 2019 will bring the end of a decade that saw activism take center stage. It brought us everything from Black Lives Matter to the Me Too movement.
And at 680's Phil Martino tells us it was also the decade that saw the death of the leader of Al-Qaeda. Osama bin Laden was killed in Pakistan on May 2nd, 2011 in a raid watched live by then-President Barack Obama.
Tonight, I can report to the American people and to the world that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda.
Activism was big this past decade. There was the Me Too movement. Survivors of sexual abuse shared their stories with the hashtag #MeToo. Tarana Burke founded the movement.
I'm faced with my own hard truth. I'm numb.
Some other big stories of the past decade: NASA's first all-female spacewalk, real estate developer and former reality TV star Donald Trump's victory in the 2016 presidential election, and earlier this month, he became only the 3rd president in U.S. history to be impeached. I'm Phil Martino.
680 news time, 9:04. Peel Police have made another arrest in the murder of a 26-year-old man killed outside a condo in Mississauga just before midnight on October 22nd. Officers were called to a shooting outside of a condo on Webb Drive. They found Stouffville man Mario Ibrahim with serious injuries, who then died shortly after. Investigators say this was the second attempt on Ibrahim's life after he was shot at on the 401. No injuries were reported in that incident. A man and a woman have already been arrested and charged with first-degree murder in this case back on December 4th. Today, Brampton man Jason Williams was arrested also on a first-degree murder charge.
680 news time, 9:04. Hope you had a chance to enjoy today's balmy weather. We hit a record high, but the temperatures will not be sticking around. Toronto reached almost 10 degrees today, a record warm temperature, the likes of which we haven't seen since 1965. Our meteorologist Carl Lamb explains why it was so abnormally warm today.
We had a warm front move through, and that was bringing the warmer air from the States, and then it filtered in and settled around the GTA. So this was the leading edge of that warmer air, and now behind it is a cold front.
A normal December 30th would have seen a high around -1 and a low of -8. But tomorrow we're back to seasonal temperatures, and the cold front that Carl mentioned will more than likely bring some flurries.
You're listening to 680 News. It's been 6 months since a downtown gas station was brutally robbed with no updates. But Toronto police have made an arrest.
Fucking guy's got like groomed eyebrows. Metrosexual. He's a fuck out of a cashier.
Toronto police have arrested a man they believe to be responsible for a violent robbery at a gas station this past June. Constable David Hopkinson tells 680 News that the suspect, Ryan Foster, violently assaulted the gas station cashier during
the robbery. You gotta fucking look at that picture.
After he removed the money from the cash register, the suspect violently stomped on the victim several times, rendering him unconscious. He then fled the store.
Foster may have been on the run for 6 months, but the hold-up squad eventually got their man. Toronto police arrested Foster on Sunday, December 29th, and he received a variety of charges.
Well, he's been charged with 2 counts of robbery with an offensive weapon, 2 counts of disguise with intent, 2 counts of possession of a weapon.
Charge him for those eyebrows.
Foster appeared in court later that day, and his case will continue. I'm James Mackin.
680 News Time 9:06. The city of Toronto is putting the finishing touches on its annual New Year's party at Nathan Phillips Square. The event starts with a skating party just from 8 o'clock until 10 o'clock tomorrow night, and live music taking place on stage from 8 until just before midnight. Road closures will start tomorrow afternoon at 5:30 until 2 in the morning on January 1st. Around the square. That includes Queen Street, Bay, and York Streets, and you're encouraged to take the TTC, which is free for everyone tomorrow night.
And across the GTA.
What the fuck that is, but I don't like it. Fuck off. It just starts tapping all over the fucking place. I unlock it, it locks. I lock it, it unlocks. Like, seriously, man.
John Risley and Jim Balsillie. The move means MDA's corporate headquarters is coming back to Canada, where it employs more than 1,900 people. That could grow as the company will operate as a standalone company and is expected to continue supplying its former U.S. parent Maxar with certain components and subsystems. All parties see growth potential for MDA under the new ownership, with Maxar's CEO expecting new opportunities to lift off across the Earth intelligence and space.
680 News Time 9:08. Keep answering. Today, major sigh of relief. Canada recovering from Saturday's historic loss against Russia with a decisive round-robin victory, following needs one more win against the tournament host Czech Republic to clinch the top spot in Group B. New Year's Day is an off day before the quarterfinals on Thursday and the semis on Saturday, followed, of course, by the gold medal game on Sunday. Canada is looking to return to the podium after a 6th-place finish last year.
680 News Time 9:08. The head of an international human rights center that combats